Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Kate's running a little late. She's supposed to be online, but I will open the meeting this morning. I'm sorry, I don't know who's the inspiration this morning. I'm not. Jim,
That would be Jim.
we'll invite Jim up. Jim, wanna come up and you can give the inspiration and we'll do a pledge and then we'll go.
Thanks, Mike. Oh, boy, I didn't know I think first. Thank you, Mr. President and fellow Toastmasters and guests. Inspiration, favorite pastimes. What do we think about this? Favorite winter pastime? What do we think about during the winter? Well, beginning of winter, say, oh, it's too cold out. I don't think I'm gonna go outside. It's too cold in November, and then December we get to the holidays, right? And then all of a sudden we get into January. And when we get into January, it's cold and we're starting to, well, it's cold out and I'm still stay hydrated. But then get into February, this time of year. What do we see this time of year? Sun's out moving, starting to get a little bit warmer. We think, wow, I can do things outside today. Well, there are things that happen. We have, the turkey trot, but not the turkey trot, the polar bear run. Right, yeah, polar bear run. So we got the polar bear swim coming up, right? But people are trying to venture out more. So the inspiration today is the joy, the weather we're having right now, because in March, before we're thinking spring, but in March we're going to get wet and we're going to get muddy and what we're going to wonder about when we get out on our lawn, but just enjoy what we have right now.
Thank you, Jim. And I will turn it over. We'll do the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do have one announcement this morning. I do have a sign-up sheet. We're gonna do a sign-up sheet for the next 2 weeks of any experienced Toastmaster that would like a new badge. I have spoken with a lot of our new members that have joined the last couple of years. But our tradition is we buy badges for new members, but if you're an experienced Toastmaster within a couple of years, the sign-up sheet will be over there today. Now, if you wanna reach out online, if you wanna email me, we're working on getting new badges. Probably we'll put the order in here next week, because we have a couple of other things that we need to purchase. Are there any other announcements this morning? And with that, I will turn it over to our Toastmaster this morning, Marty Johnson.
Thank you, Michael, fellow Toastmasters and guests, welcome back, Zach and Chris. And anyone on Zoom that I'm missing? Good morning, everyone. A little bit of housekeeping. For those that are present, you'll notice that, yes, you have one page of the agenda. So please make a note of 2 things. The first thing is our second speaker will be Phil Russell. And he'll be in the slot with evaluator 2, Dave Licata. That's number 1. And the second thing is, next to speaker 1, you can put evaluator 1, Mark Campos, MARC-CAMPOS. Mark is evaluating Bridget. And again, speaker 2, Phil Russell, evaluator will be David Licata. And the third thing that's not printed on your first page, evaluator 3 is Phil Russell and speaker 3 is Kate Orr. Kate Orr on the bottom of the page, but speaker 3 and then evaluator 3 will be Phil Russell.
You gonna speak and evaluate?
Are we giving anybody else the option to evaluate me since Phil picked up the?
They'll do 2 things.
Pardon? Yeah, up here. Somebody wanna volunteer to evaluate?
Oh, yeah, okay. Is there anyone here that would like to evaluate Kate? Because Phil is filling in as the
Somebody step
second
up.
speaker. Phil, do you have the information? Phil does. Is there anyone that would like Phil, to send information? You have technology that he can send you the information. If not, we'll just go with Phil.
No, I'll do it.
Michael,
I'll,
Phil, can you send the information to Michael that you have?
It's on the website.
it's on the website, I'll grab
On the
it.
website. Thank you very much. Okay, so
Thanks, guys.
that housekeeping up, and then probably the most important thing, our general evaluator is Mike Florio. And those are the things that you're missing from the second page. So thank you for bearing with me. And I will make it up with an exciting meeting this morning. Speaking of the meeting, I chose the theme, as you can see on the agenda, favorite winter pastimes. And I know we have a month of winter left and we're supposed to be getting another possible blast of winter. But we've been through it before, I'm sure we'll be fine. And if there's anything that I can warm you up with, I can tell you that first day of spring is less than a month away, so hopefully that'll warm your spirits a little bit.
Nothing up here.
Now let's get right into the job holders for this morning. Our word master, Mary Cavanero. Mary, please come up and share a word with us.
I chose the word snug today because it's nice and cold out.
The word is snug,
What does it mean?
S-N-U-G, so please try to use the word snug, S-N-U-G, when you speak to. Thank you, Mary. And next is our R master, Joe Budnick. Joe.
So as your master today, I will be counting ums, pregnant pauses, and best of luck to all of our speakers, and let's everyone stay snug this winter. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Our grammarian, Nancy Ferry. Nancy, please share your role as grammarian.
As grammarian, I would be looking for proper uses of the English language and listening to your ways of putting things together. I'd also be listening for wonderful ways. And my favorite thing to do in this time of weather is to snuggle and stay in bed with all my whoopies on and my little warm slippers, but here I am.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. And our quote master this morning is Maggie Craig. Maggie, please share a quote with us.
I too like to snuggle in front of a warm fire and eat some healthy snacks. And when I got up this morning, I found that my pants were a little snug. When we're thinking about favorite pastimes in the winter, sledding, skiing, tobogganing, skiing, all those lovely S words. Which in Richard Scarry, one of my favorite things is, look at that escargot. But if you don't know Richard Scarry, you don't get it. Anyway, it makes me think, all those activities make me think of a thing that my wise friend Dottie said when I first met her. She told me she was turning 70. She said, you know, Maggie, you got your go-go years, you got your slow-go years, and you have your no-go years. And this relates to what you had to say. Make very good use of those go-go years. Have a good day.
Thank you, Maggie. And our adjuster this morning is Margot Bittner. Margot, please share a jest with us.
Good morning. And for those wondering, this is what the name tags look like. This is one I've had for a few years, actually, obviously with my DTM on it. Anyway, I have a few jests for you this morning. I am not one who goes outside much, so I would rather snuggle in next to the fireplace. But what did the hat say to the scarf? You hang around. I'm going on ahead. What did the icy road say to the truck? Let's go for a spin. Sorry. And why should you sit in the corner when you're very cold? Because it's 90 degrees there, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Margot. Our timer this morning, Bill Rory, Bill, share your role as timer.
Morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As timer, it is our job to keep the meeting nice and snug. Not straying. And not taking up too much time and being bored. Keeping other people from having their jobs as well. So I will be doing the cards, the green, yellow, red. At the times, table topics are 1 minute, 1:30, 2 minutes is time to close up. 15-second buffer. Speeches are usually 5 to 7 with a 30-second buffer. And evaluations are 2 to 3 minutes with a 30-second buffer. That's what I will be doing. I will be reporting at various times.
Thank you, Joe. And our quiz master this morning, Carol Costa. Carol.
Marty just said I look nice and warm. I'd like to get snug as a bug in a rug. As quizmaster, I will be listening, as I hope you will, because at the end there will be a quiz.
Our topics master this morning, the moment you've all been waiting for. Mike Licata, Mike.
Thank you again, Mr. Toastmaster. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and our guests this morning. Right, thank you. You made the topic very easy. It's difficult at all to talk about our winter hobbies and our favorite winter activities. So I will start online, I believe. Is Marshall available? I saw him earlier. I didn't know if he wanted to participate in table topics this morning. Still there?
There, but not on video.
All right. I will.
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Marshall. Appreciate it. My question for you is simple. What kind of winter traditions did you have? Or did you do growing up as a kid? And don't forget to use the word snow.
Pardon? I didn't get.
You said pardon, you said pardon.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. Just a simple question. What winter traditions did you have growing up in your region in China?
Winter. Oh, thank you. I'm still traveling. I'm in Beijing. I just went to the Beijing Olympic Center, and that's freezing cold. But I just into a snug restaurant. The Chinese, the Chinese New Year and the Lantern festivals are our winter festivals. They are very important. We usually play some fireworks on the lantern, and in southern China we play dragon and lion dance. But actually, we have stopped those culture for many years because for our government to like to support some Soviet Union culture. But then our Chinese culture from Canada, from some Malaysia, they come back again. Now we just pick up and as well as the San Francisco. So that's our culture. We stopped it for maybe 30 years. And then the American Chinese, Canadian Chinese taught us again. We just pick up it, but we love it. I think those cultures still flowing in our blood. Uh, Thank you for keeping our traditional culture. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. Happy New Year, and I hope you enjoy your time in Beijing. I forgot to announce as part of table topics, the length of the table topic speech is 1 to 2 minutes. My apologies to Marshall. Next, I will call up Steve Smith. Steve, what kind of winter traditions do you have growing up as a kid?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I don't remember an awful lot of traditions as a kid. I know one of our traditions was when we got a snow day, rather than stay inside where it was snug, we were up the road at the sledding hill. Which ironically enough was in the cemetery. Which is appropriate. Right now, you would never know that that was a sledding hill, because right now it is tree covered. But back when I was a kid, which was, well, it wasn't yesterday. It was a nice hill, you could slide down. Now, if you really want to get dangerous, we go to the back end of the cemetery. There was another hill down there, but that was like narrow. I went down there once, sliding down the hill. I hit a tree at the bottom, wasn't a big tree, it's only about yay big around, but guess what? The sled stopped. I didn't. I went flying off the end of the sled, boom, down in the snow, and well, that was fun. I didn't get hurt, okay, but that's what we did, and somehow I survived all of this. But I do have a couple of sayings for everybody that complains about it being cold. I've always told everybody, cold is a state of mind. And if they go further, they say, I don't get cold because I don't believe in it.
Thank you, Steve. Next, I'll call up Len. I believe you have a job this morning. Len, do you have any current winter hobbies or winter activities that you participate in?
Thank you, Mr. Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, live and online. Yeah, I have some winter hobbies, shoveling snow. I've done a lot of that this year. When it's wet snow, the key is to get it before it hardens, especially that lump at the end of your driveway. It's all the best of the best, you'll see them. Municipal plows. But aside from shoveling snow and keeping the driveway and my porch clear, there's no better time of year for binge watching shows on TV. Who has a Netflix subscription here? Okay, and Amazon Prime, okay? 15 other ones I have credentials for because I have friends who share credentials. So I've seen a lot of movies, a lot of series, and you always got to have at least 3 going at one time, because it depends on the mood you're in, you know. Watching a show called Fallout, and that's pretty good, a little science fiction dystopian type thing, but there's comedy in there as well. Person of Interest, I find fascinating. So many other ones, and then there's lighthearted fare that you can just turn on and just shut your brain off, and that has a place as well. You can binge, courtesy of the Netflix model, you can binge from 1 show to 15, depending on how long you want to stay snug in your bed and just curled up by the TV. Mr. Todd, Mr.
And I will now call up Mary, who is our word master this morning. How did our word do?
way all three of them knew that
Good.
once only.
Mary, I will give Jill our time on this one. Jill, how are we doing?
All three of them were within town, Marshall at 150, Steve at 129, and Len at 126.
With that, I will turn it back over to our Toastmaster, Marty, and I will come around and collect the back.
Thank you, Mike. And for our topics participants, thank you. Len mentioned during table topics about that his favorite part of shoveling is what's at the end of the driveway. Well, it's probably really not his favorite. But when I was a kid, I remember that we used to love those hard chunks of ice at the end of the driveway, because what we did, we used those for our goalposts when we played street hockey. We took portions of those,
I need the extra.
two of them, one for the left goalpost and one for the right. And then a little ways down the street, we did the same thing, and that was our goal. And that's what we did. We didn't have money or and that, so we made do with what we had, and we had a blast with that. I know many of you shared what your favorite winter pastime is. My favorite pastime is cross-country skiing. I was introduced to cross-country skiing when I was in college at SUNY Brockport in the late 80s. And it's a sport that you gain as a life skill. Once you learn how to cross-country ski. Dave Licata, you probably heard Dave say that if you can walk, you can cross-country ski. And it's true. It's great to get out in the outdoors. A few weeks ago after the meeting, after breakfast, Dave Licata went with me to Bond Lake and we went skiing for a little while. It was a wonderful time. I'm sure Dave will share that at some point in time with you. Moving into the next portion of our meeting is the prepared speech portion. And our first speaker is Bridget Newton, and Bridget will be evaluated by Mark Campos. Welcome, Mark. Please share her objectives.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters, and yes, good morning. It is my privilege to evaluate Bridget Newton this morning. Bridget is working from the Presentation Mastery Pathway Level 1 project. Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. The purpose of the project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance a speech. The time, Madam Timer, is 5 to 7 minutes. Please join me in welcoming Bridget Newton with Body Language in a Box. Body Language in a Box. Yeah. Bridget Newton.
Well, I'm here snug in my house. I turned the heat up extra high this morning because I was very cold. So, with regards to body language in a box, for my profession, I work on Zoom. This is the Zoom box that I work in. This is my office. This is where I live. This is how I connect to people. Sometimes I even use this Zoom box to connect with my kids because they're out of state. Because this is my office, I try to give a much thought to what am I wearing, what's behind me, how am I conveying information, and what is the camera angle. I do recognize that people can pretty much see me from kind of the waist up, just a portrait of me. They don't see what's on the bottom. They don't see that I'm wearing my comfy pants or my hot pink Barbie pajama bottoms. If I get up to get a book off my bookshelf, I do make sure that they don't see that the bottom half is quite different than the top half. With regards to my background, I try to make sure that it's pleasant. There's some things to look at, but I don't want it to be distracting. I imagine that if they were to come to me in an office, there would be things for them to look at. I do mix up what's behind me. Sometimes I will go with the season. Sometimes I will have things that go with Valentine's or St. Patrick's Day, which I will be putting up shortly. I did have many snowmen and a picture of snow behind me, but I decided that we are all done with snow. We do not need snowmen anymore. We are living in a snow globe right now. The other thing with distraction is I try to make sure that what I'm wearing is not distracting. I don't want them to be paying attention to what I'm wearing. If it's too flamboyant, too bright, I want them to pay attention to me, what I'm saying, how I'm presenting information. I do want to also think about the camera angle. I try to look straight on. I try to make sure that I'm not too low and there's a power dynamic of sorts. I try to make sure I'm not too close and they're looking up my nose. I try to make sure that I'm within the Zoom box. The other thing about this box is the people on the other side don't realize they're in a box of sorts. I have seen clients in so many interesting places. I have seen the camera angle in so many different views. I have seen people walking the streets, sitting in a coffee shop, on a beach. I have seen people cooking in the kitchen. Very interestingly, I have seen people in their bedroom. I have seen people in their bathroom. Not everyone thinks about what I can see in their box. I also feel that gestures, whether they're the hand gestures or if they're facial expressions, have to be within the box again, right? If I'm trying to explain something with my hands and I'm way out here, and maybe I'm doing some kind of a bell curve or something, they have no idea what I'm doing. Or if my hands are way up here, this makes no sense either. So I try to keep my hands closer to me so that if I'm doing a bell curve, or maybe I'm doing a triangle to talk about a CBT or balancing things, I try to make sure that my hands are closer to me within, once again, that Zoom box. There are times that I will lean forward and I'll really try to focus on what they're doing, what they're saying. I have to pay attention to the client's affect, what they're doing, how they look, read cues, check out how they're feeling and through their body language. And I'm sure that they're looking at me and they're also gauging, how is she feeling about what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes I will lean in and be really concerned. Or sometimes I just sit back, give more space, and I'll just put my hand on my heart. I might talk really soft. I might not talk at all. And just look and share my heart with that person. The wonderful thing about this Zoom box is that people can work with me that maybe can't get to an office. They can come onto Zoom. They can be in a safe space. Maybe they are living in a rural area. Maybe they're homebound. But for whatever reason, this is a platform that is absolutely wonderful for them. And I'm very thankful that we do have this. Think about it. We have people on the other side of the world who are able to join us, just like Marshall doing the table topics this morning. Other side of the world. That is amazing to me. Especially when I grew up with a party line on the phone and had to wait for the neighbor to get off so that I could talk to a friend. And the older folks know what I'm saying. Right? So think about this. This Zoom box that we're in, sometimes we're on this side, sometimes we're the other side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bridget. At this point, I would like to call up our general evaluator. I didn't purposely leave you out, Mike, but I would like you to share your role as general evaluator this morning. Mike?
Thanks, Marty. I was all snug over there. But that's okay. My job this morning is to evaluate the evaluators and maybe give a brief blurb on how the meeting went. But, you know, there's one sport that it's not in the Olympics. I just wanted to maybe go over, growing up as a kid, one of my favorite sports with boys. And that was what we would do is, when it snowed like this, it was slushy on the ground. It'd be a nice four-way stop, right? Where, cars would come on. And we would do what we call pop cars.
You're crazy.
And if you're really good, now it's not an Olympic sport, if you're super good and you can get crippled by it, or sent to the hospital, they can go pretty far with it, hundreds of feet. And there was like a contest with us. So that and bombing cars were, my hobbies as a young boy. Staying with the cops.
And Mike, now we know the other side of my story. Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Get up, pull up.
Our next speaker this morning graciously filled in as speaker. Phil Russell will be evaluated by David Licata. David, please share Phil's objective.
Fellow Toastmasters. Yes. I have a question for Maggie. In the British pubs, is there not one room is called the snug, right?
I've seen that. I didn't know that it was British.
Yeah. And I believe that's the room that doesn't have the bar in it, but you can sit down at a bunch of tables. It's probably small, so they're all snug in there, would be my guess. But I was hoping you could back me up on that.
I'll back you up.
Thank you. In this modern electric age, I was able to send a text to Phil Russell so I could get his parameters and find out what he wanted to accomplish this morning. But I see that he's getting teed up, ready to go. And I'm sure that Phil will be happy to share his goals with you, but he certainly wasn't going to share them with me. So Phil, we're going to allow you a little bit of time before the timer goes into effect, and you can tell us what we should be looking for. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
It's the 1950s. We're at 176 Gooding Street. We have a day off. Yeah. I jump out of my snug bed and go down for breakfast. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, our guests. Quick bowl of cereal, juice, toast, upstairs, a bread. Get dressed for the outside. Now I'm dressed. off Ballinger with my second hoe. Do I go Allen Street or do I go Lock Street? Going down Good Street, go down the street, 3 houses, heading up Monroe Street, go left. Now he'll be over later. Then we go up and up, go up Lock Street, see if Eggland's up, go across there, go through Vanderland's backyard, and then we'll go over to Ballinger, go through Tommy Wilson's yard, see if he's doing it. If I walk on Lock Street, I've seen if Keeler was Eddie, Tommy else anyway, he's right in the corner right there in the Van Street. Seek it, noon. We're all gonna be sledding today. It's great, fresh snow. It's been down because Ballinger's Hill is a toll path to go down to go down to Glenwood Avenue, and so it goes from end of Allen Street all the way down to the bottom. But it's our sledding hill. Whoa! It's not fun when it first starts, but boy, once it gets good and slick, you go down 100 miles an hour. It's great. There's 3 hills of Bellingers. The middle start at the top of Allen Street. You got to hit, you got to get right, you got to go down right. Then it's over to that. And now you pick up speed and you are straight ahead, all the way down. Bang, 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 bang. Don't listen to the Van's house. Whoa. Into the road. That's where he is. Main thing you have to for is that cycle that comes out, Jason, and it comes down off the hill. Too many big speeds. You put it like 100,000 miles an hour. The other guy going 100,000 miles an hour. Everybody goes, but here, let's fly. Going under the nerve girls road. Oh, the thing about cycle is it's this steep. But let me say something. It gets fast because it gets icy really fast. And you shoot down there, and then word go right to the sumac brush. Bang, bang. You get down those sumac. Once the sumac's all gone, because you're slipping them down, then you go right over into it's Ballinger Hill, bones, more fun. It's nothing but in there. It's crazy. The one hill you're not set down is the side hill, not the side hill. Can. The reason all can, you guessed it. You go down again. That is a cardboard hill. You could go on your clothes, or you use cardboard. Card is the best because it's always glare. Far. Boy, you don't understand miles an hour before you know anything, and there's nothing but big tree at the end. The big trees, sweet, steep. It was just good mind. Those trees. That's what happens. You hope you're out of it alive. It's great. So, and because Larry's, you were want to quit up. Usually girls go over there. The guys, they just sit out and sled go fast. And then down your right toboggan, but that goes so fast you're able to slide across there right that's a now. It's show middle. That's all. Sweet. Now,
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
oh, man, you pan or so. You can invent your new stuff. You're going, you know, you find the old treasures and you go down there and you still go right now at all. It's really out of just out to the real world.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for filling in today, this second speaker. Our third speaker this morning is Kate Moore, who will be evaluated by Mike Licata. Welcome, Mike. Please share Kate's objective.
Thank you, Marty. Kate is speaking out of the Dynamic Leadership Path Level 5, lead in any situation. Madam Timer, her time is 8 to 10 minutes. Her objective is to apply skills needs to successfully lead in a volunteer or other organization. And her speech title is Turning Setbacks into Comebacks. Kate Orr, Turning Setbacks into Comebacks.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone. Please stop me if there are any audio difficulties because I'm snug in my Toastmaster office. Now I'm in a hotel room in icy Jamestown. And happy to be down here because across my window, I can see the Jamestown Comedy Center and the Northwest Hockey Arena. Snug in the hotel. I'm not taking an icy walk this morning. Let's time travel back to 2007. That year, that December 1st, I officially joined Toastmasters. This speech will be entirely about my leadership here in Toastmasters and my learning from each and every one of you. Margot had long convinced me of the benefits of Toastmasters. At the time, she was on the School Board of Education and I was teaching, and coming to Lockport at 7 a.m. was impractical since I liked my job. And then some years later, when I wasn't teaching anymore, almost, 8 years, it was time for me to take the plunge. Just like the plunge this Sunday, sidebar, polar bear plunge. Thank you, Jim and Len, for wearing your Lions Club polar bear sweatshirts. Party at my house this Sunday, pre-party and after party. My sidebar is kind of, as many of you know, how I am a leader. David Licata dubbed me the pseudo-social chair of our club, and that is such a part of who I am and how I lead. We'll go a little farther back. My first experiences with leading in an organization was in high school. I was very shy, if you can believe that, until 9th grade when Mr. Mike Travers in Newfane High School, those of you who know him, grabbed me out of a hallway, not physically, but he nudged, "You a freshman? We need a freshman in the student council." Nobody showed up. And I tried to melt into the hallway wall so he couldn't see that I was there, and it was to no avail. And I joined the student council, and ever since, the trajectory has me involved. It started earlier with my parents being very community and civic minded. It was then, though, in 9th grade that my voice finally was louder. I was such a shy child, always nose in a book, always a little librarian, partly why I became a history teacher for almost a decade. Well, in any case, joined Toastmasters back when we were at Friendly's restaurant. And Friendly's closed abruptly. And I recall, if I'm remembering correctly, David Licata and Ed Bird arranged quickly for us to move over to Tom's Diner, where we had a safe landing for quite a long time. And I remember, especially our Toastmaster of the day, Marty, and Steve Smith and the Mike Reinbold, DTM, were always mentioning the other clubs they were coaching and the other Toastmaster clubs they were joining and visiting. And I thought, that's nice for them. There's no way I would ever do all of that. And then times change. I mean, I kind of thought, gosh, is Toastmasters a cult? Why are we going to so many meetings? Why are they going to so many other clubs? And I have now seen the benefits. Not a cult, only in the best way. So let's jump ahead to 2020, jump back. Many of us don't want to ever revisit that year again. Well, for the first time ever, I had time on my hands to visit other clubs. We adapted quickly, thanks to Len and Larry, those two especially, in shifting us to be on Zoom as smoothly and quickly as possible. And anybody else in here, thank you as well. I started visiting clubs internationally on Zoom. I started joining other clubs on Zoom. At one point, I was a member, yikes, of 4 clubs. In the UK, the one out of London, Ace of Clubs, that was amazing, a blend from folks around the world. A club in Chicago on Sunday evenings. My home club, we call it Home Club, is where you started, AM Lockport, and the now defunct Buffalo Flyers. Buffalo Flyers was in Area 13. Area 13 doesn't exist anymore because of shrinking membership. Also, it was a corporate club, and folks in 2020 were sent home, right? I had agreed that year to be the final Area 13 director, knowing that the area would be merging within 2 other clubs, and they were spread out. The existing leftover clubs were spread out to areas 11, 12, and 14. That's on our horizon now, and I'll get to that if I have time, but we'll talk about that for anybody who hasn't seen about the realigning and merging of our entire district. Well, we were on Zoom, and for a long time, many of our vocal members were ready to get back in person. I remember Jill's amazing voice giving me encouragement at the right time. Phil, for anybody who's newer members and guests, I, along with many of the room members here in the Zoom space and in the room, were part of finding where to then go and be hybrid. That's a big challenge, as we all see. Many clubs don't succeed that way. They're either in person or Zoom only. We're a strong club in many ways, and that resiliency, that willingness to bounce back through the traumas, the difficulties, the stresses, really is important. There were times when I thought, geez, I don't know, is the club going to split? Are some people going to go on Zoom and some people going to stay in person? I am amazed at all of you for keeping this going on this path. We landed temporarily at the Bewley building. That was interesting. And then Sylvia arranged for us a safe landing at the YWCA for well over a year. She was such a gracious and hardworking host and our club treasurer all at the same time. Sylvia, kudos again for that. Then Len worked tirelessly to set up here at the YMCA once the YWCA wasn't going to be able to host us after that. It's a full circle around that time. I remember Phil Russell pointing out, we were born at a YMCA in Anaheim, California, back in 1924, if my years are correctly. And so here we are landed for the last few years now back at the YMCA. Whew. And then in 2023, in my personal life, gosh, I faced something very challenging. In North Carolina, crazy tick bite landed me back here home in the hospital for 2 weeks and more. And I remember at the time, our district director was the real Sam Otto, and he called checking in on me and didn't know how serious it was and said, hey, can you be Area 11 director next year? And I said, you really should find somebody else. Keep me as your backup. Well, then it was me. I was at a weak spot in my health, but I thought I had some time on my hands. Weak spot, I didn't know how to say no. And I became the Area 11 director. And I fully embraced a lot of our Canadian counterparts coming in and helping us grow and merging regionally. I think that that's the most important thing. Going back to when I was in high school in an organization called Peer Leadership, where it's not about leading from the front and follow me, it's often leading from behind and guiding the ship like a rudder. Like, where are we going? And bouncing back is the most important piece of success. If you haven't seen the TED Talk about grit, 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 look it up. Resiliency and grit are said to be the skills that will dictate success. You could be the smartest, you could have the most money, you could be the most athletic. But if you don't know how to bounce back when you've fallen down, if you don't take risks and are willing to make mistakes, you're not going to learn. We have to make mistakes. We have to have those barriers. We have to have those issues to overcome. I can't wait to see what Toastmasters will bring. There's the challenges. We don't have the manuals anymore. We have the Pathways program. There are the goods and the bads about that. I'm telling you, I've met our international president. I'm super excited to see what this year will bring. I finally, after 18 years of Toastmaster membership, attended a conference in Philadelphia last year. I remember Charlie Deacon and Jen Zapla encouraging us to join them in Chicago and in DC, and we didn't set up a trip. I'm so thrilled I finally went and could see the direction. Our regional director is out of Toronto. Maybe we can bring him as a guest speaker sometime, at least on Zoom. How simple would this be? Now we have our members from around the country and around the world. Thank you, Marshall, for even joining us on holiday. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Kitty. At this point, I'd like to call for a timers report. Jill?
Thank you, Marty. Let's see, Bridget came in at 6:56,
My hearing aid's in the shop.
Bill at 6:15, and Kate just got into the number at 10:05, so they are qualified.
Thank you, Jill.
Write down that so.
And Mary, how about a word master report? Mary?
No word, no.
Oh,
Save it till the
yeah,
end.
We're gonna hold off, Mary, till the end.
First meeting.
Okay, while everyone's voting, I just wanted to share one more thing about favorite winter pastimes. One of my other favorite winter pastimes is canning. And canning gave me a chance to rebond and reconnect with my sister Diane that lives in Rochester. And between the tomatoes that I had and the ones that she purchased from an Amish farmer that lives near her in Lyons, New York, we made a batch of stewed tomatoes, canned tomatoes, and this is more like a marinade than a spaghetti sauce, but it's delicious. And I savor this, and I still have from September 25th of 2022, and it's still well sealed and it's delicious.
Don't open it.
Maybe someday I'll share it with you, everyone. But it's a wonderful thing because where my sister lives, it's out in the country. She has a nice fireplace, and after we usually have a nice glass of wine, and it's a nice snug room. And my brother-in-law Mark usually comes in from cross-country skiing or whatever he's doing, and he joins us, and we sit around and reconnect his sister and brother-in-laws. It's a wonderful time. And canning is something that I hold near and dear to my heart because my mother was always into canning. There are probably still some jars of something that she made at the homestead where my brother lives. But it's another life skill, if you will, like cross-country skiing. So those are a couple of the couple of my favorite winter pastimes. And at this point, I would like to move into the evaluation portion of the meeting. And our first evaluator evaluating Bridget's speech is Mark Campos. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, yes, and especially Bridget. Body language in a box. What a clever title. It was a perfect tie-in between the speech objectives and the speech content. Well, let's talk about Bridget's strengths as a speaker, and there were quite a lot of them today. Bridget, you are a very smooth and confident speaker, especially for a newer Toastmaster, very impressive. Great pacing, speeding up, slowing down, eloquent language. Your gestures were fantastic today. Sometimes they were small, sometimes they were big. I loved how she demonstrated everything she was talking about with her gestures. It is clear you are a Zoom professional, your eye contact, you know where to look. We are not looking at the squares, we are looking at the camera. Excellent job. And I liked your camera angle as well. To me, it should be level or maybe slightly above you, but never below you. Don't be hunching over the laptop or the tablet. It's not a good look for any of us. And very little use of notes that I saw, so great job with that. Now, building upon these strengths, I think you could be even more effective in just a couple of ways. These are nitpicky type things. The first one is probably the bigger one. I would like to see you maintain that eye contact with the camera. While you were looking at the camera, there were times I noticed your eyes darting around, and you may not be able to see me demonstrate this, but sort of looking up, looking to the side. I would want you to maintain that connection with us by staying locked in on that camera as if you're looking someone in the eye throughout the speech or conversation. The second thing, it's not you, it's me. I'm OCD. For as much thought as you put into your background and all of these things, you were just ever so slightly off center and you made me wanna. Just a bit. It would bother me being OCD more than the rest of humanity, but again, it's about me. I thought it was a great overview though about things to consider when using Zoom, ways to enhance the experience. I appreciate how you pointed out how valuable Zoom is. I think it's safe to say in this club, we have a love-hate relationship with Zoom. Len and I often laugh about the level of panic when it comes to Zoom. The people that are on there, can you hear me? Can you hear? We can hear you. We'll tell you if we can't hear you. Or the people in the room interacting with Zoom, the panic of, are you there? You wouldn't say that to someone in the room. They're there. Relax. So let's all embrace Zoom, and Bridget, great job today. It's true.
Thank you, Mark. Next evaluator is Dave Licata, evaluating Phil Russell's speech. Welcome, David.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and our guests. My plan for evaluation is always this. Tell the speaker what you liked, where they can improve, and then tell them what you loved. So Phil Russell's history is very much entwined with Coach Les Dugan of the Sales, our old football coach. And Les was a motivator, and he used to give tremendous locker room speeches. And I want to salute Phil this morning because what he's done his whole Toastmaster career is try to back down from that level of locker room speech. So he has constantly been working on softening things up. So that will bring me to talk about his gestures and his facial expressions. And I thought he did a very nice job of being friendly, conversational tone, more like he was just having a chat with a friend. And he did keep those eyes moving, and his head he was using appropriate motions during his speech. So I certainly want to give him credit for that, because believe me, this man has coached high school, college, out west, back east. He's been everywhere. So I can imagine what his locker room speeches are like.
I have heard coach students' locker room speeches. Now, the second part of the evaluation is where we talk about what can be improved. Bill, what say, Bill, your microphone, which was your microphone? We couldn't hear anything, Bill. We couldn't make out, and the nice ladies that I was sitting with said, should we tell them? I said, no. And I said no, because that's how you're gonna learn, that you gotta check your equipment. I was getting evaluated one day by Len, and I had no idea that the microphones were in my earbuds. I thought that we were in the camera, and he's saying, well, we can't hear you, and I go, what do you mean? Well, these had given up. I didn't know, but this is how you learn. So you're gonna have to work on that, Phil, because we sure you had a great message for us this morning. And we always enjoy our visits back to my neighborhood, and I'm going to get a bus. And you can come to my house and I will show you all these highlights of the neighborhood that Phil grew up in, so these speeches will make more sense. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Dave. Our next evaluator is Mike Licata, evaluating Kate Orr's speech. Welcome, Mike.
Good morning again, fellow Toastmasters and our guests this morning, and especially Kate. Kate, I want to give you credit. I have to congratulate you on finishing a level 5 speech in Pathways. It's not an easy task to do 8 to 10 minutes, and the fact that you came in at 10:05 was very impressive. You highlighted your leadership experience going all the way back to high school, and I still will never believe that you were a shy person. All the years I've known you, but there's some things I can't believe that was one of them. I do want to encourage, I felt at times during your speech, you did speed up. One of the things I know that you've worked on in Toastmasters as a public speaker is your ability to slow down. And I did notice in your speech, you did slow down at points today. You took those extra pauses, which in an 8 to 10 minute speech seemed very, very necessary this morning. Because if you slow down, you do a better job of getting your point across. We're able to understand you better, and the speech seems to flow better as well. The other criticism I would have is during your speech, when you have to fill this much time and you have that much detail in your speech this morning, I did notice your eyes seem to flitter around your screen, whether you were checking your notes in a notepad, whether you had another window open that you were trying to read off of to do some of your more detailed history in our club, or your experiences that you wrote down. Those would be my 2 bigger criticisms of the speech this morning. I want to thank you for your leadership, and it's definitely helped me improve, not only as a Toastmaster, you've made me a better person through all the experience I have under your tutelage. I want to wish you good luck going forward, and frowned upon, but you're a great example of what it takes to become a successful Toastmaster. You have done a great job leading our club, and I look forward to you kind of explaining in the future how everything works going forward. With that, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mike. That concludes our evaluation portion of the meeting. At this point, I would like to call for a timer's report. Jill?
Thank you. I got a little distracted there. Has anybody's phone ever rang while they were timing?
Nice ring.
With it saying potential spam?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Okay. It's ironic that all three of our speakers today were on Zoom and all three evaluators were here in person. Mark Campos came in at 3:06, Dave Licata at 3:13, and Mike Licata at 2:38. So they all qualified. Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Before moving into the general evaluation portion of the meeting, I just wanted to share one last tidbit of my favorite winter pastimes. Some of you may know that I became a homeowner last year. Now, my son Adam, I think he's trying to outdo me. He bought a house. The kid just turned 23 yesterday. And he just bought a house. He got a loan and he got a better rate than I did. He has a dog and he has a cat. I don't know. I'm very proud of him, but as a winter pastime, one of the things that I'm definitely gonna be looking back on is him buying his house and some of the little home improvements and little bit of financial support that I can help him with improving his house. And it really makes me feel proud as not only as a Toastmaster, because I can share different things with him, but also as a father to see how he's grown in his career as a service tech with Ford and being a homeowner. And there are a couple of things that we are working on, and he's been very patient with me, so I thank him. We were trying to put a smoke alarm in the ceiling on a textured ceiling. If any of you have ever done that. And I know I've heard from Len and Mark and some of the other members before about learning different things from the YouTube videos, and those have been very helpful. Again, I thank everyone for the participation this morning. I'm going to have Mike Florio evaluate me and the evaluators, and then I'm going to have Mike call me back up for the reports. Mike, welcome. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Marty. You weren't all criminals back then, okay? You did have fun, right? And we were huge Sabres fans, and we did street hockey, and we had two of the things that we always got invited to play street hockey, right? We had two of the main things, and one was a net. We had a net. Nope, not many guys in the West End had a net, and we had goalie pads. Wow. You know, that was. Our parents got us goalie pads. That was the thing. We played street hockey almost every day. And I was Rick Martin on the left wing. And part of the French Connection, we were three boys. We had a great time. And I had a great time this morning listening to the speeches this morning. They were really good. And I'm glad we had three excellent evaluators because it wasn't easy. They were all sandwich approaches, and everybody had their, everybody had something that they had to overcome. Dave with Phil, and then you were very kind, and not many people could hear what was going on, so you brought that in, and you knew the neighborhood. Like you said, at the end, you said, here's the bus. And I caught a few of them on Rose Street. Not many people here from the area might not know. And so you did a wonderful job with your sandwich. And Phil, you might want to check that microphone. Just saying. Mark, wonderful job. I mean, she's really good, Bridget. She really is. And we got a 2-for-1 with Bridget. We got vocal variety and gestures. And the vocal variety kind of came at the end, didn't it? I mean, where she was, Bridget, you were a little bit on the monotone side in the beginning, where your pace was like this, but that's that calming voice that you have. And then in the end, you got even. And I thought, okay, there's the vocal variety, because I even asked Mary, well, is this from gestures? Or is it vocal variety? So you picked up on that, which was really good, and that was a great sandwich. I liked also how you talked about building, right? Building upon. And I know, Mike, you use criticize, okay? And here, I kind of like building, right? Because you're building blocks on what we're trying to do here instead of saying being critical. And I know what you're saying, you know, it's one criticism that you might have. But maybe just something more in a positive vein in the sense that I would say you might want to put down. But you had a great sandwich as well. You know, Kate's speech was awesome. Her accomplishments are just off the board. I mean, when she starts listing them, I just go, oh my goodness. I did nothing here in the 15 years I've been here compared to what this woman has done. And then she's giving blood and she's doing this and that. I go, she's all over the board, and I think you picked up on that very well. So all in all, Marty, I thought it was a really great meeting this morning. You forgot me this morning. Your agenda wasn't right, but you know, it's okay. It's all right. It's all good. Yeah, I can just throw some little building part in there. Building, not criticism, just building.
Building on that.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll throw it back to you and you can go over the reports, and thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mike. Mike, there's no time like the present to start on a project. I'm sure Kate could give you some direction if you need help. I'm sure she has some things that you could help her with.
Yeah.
If you need her contact information, let me know. Calling for reports, I would like to start with Joe Budnick, our master. Joe. How did we fare with our use of filler words, or didn't we fare? Did we fare well?
We fared well.
Joe.
Everyone did very good today. I counted 4 I won't mention names. But that's it, just 4, and everyone spoke very clearly and eloquently. Good job, everyone. And my favorite winter activity is to sit in my easy chair with a cup of coffee and a good book. That's my favorite. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. And our grammarian, Nancy Ferry. How was our grammar this morning, Nancy?
I'm gonna get my memory going. Last night, I forgot last week. Romper, dumper, stomper. I heard a few drop Gs, good, keeping something. You know, kinda. Yeah, picture. I think I said nothing already. Hop cars, love that one. Tee up, parameters. Phil had some really, really great sound effects going down. Fully embraced, tutelage, locker room speech, time travel back, sidebar, melt into the wall. I like that one. Safe landing, on our horizon. Resiliency, savor, favorite winter pastimes. There's another one. Oh, that wasn't connected. Yeah, I wanted to say, Marty, the popcorn ceiling. Where are you? Where did you go? Oh, there you are. I didn't sense your presence on this side. We did that one time, and everybody bends your head back, and what happens? Your mouth opens. I got a mouthful of little pieces of plastic, and I never did that again.
That's how you give pills to a cat.
Oh.
That's why you don't do what?
That's how you give pills to a cat.
You hold their head, okay, they have to keep it up, good knowledge. Well, I would have done that if I had thought of it.
Post-COVID, now you know, Jill shared her wealth of knowledge with you. Thank you, Nancy. Our quiz master, Carol Ann. We're ready for the quiz. Carol Ann.
First of all, where was the sledding hill that Steve went on?
Cemetery.
Yeah. It was cemetery.
Wilson?
Yeah. Where does Marty go cross-country skiing?
On
Fence Lake. When Bridget was talking, she said she doesn't want her back. When she was discussing the background or what she's wearing, what doesn't she want?
She does not want to be distracting.
She doesn't want it distract. What was Phil's address?
Gooding Street.
Oh, Gooding Street was what do you say, 161 or something?
He said 176. And when did Kate become a member of Toastmasters?
15 years.
2007 is what I wrote. And where was Kate coming from this morning?
Jamestown.
They
stayed in that hotel.
And between Tom's Diner and our present location, what two other places were we?
Yulee Building?
Yeah, in between was the Yulee Building and the YW. And what type of a job does Marty's son have?
Oh, he's an auto mechanic, he's a Ford guy.
Yeah, service tech for Ford.
That's
Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. There, well done. Last but not least, our word master, Mary Elizabeth Cavanero, Mary.
So David Wakata used it twice, Bridget used it once, Mike used it once, Mike used it once, Jill used it once, Michael used it once, Nancy used it once, Joe used it once, Phil used it once, Kate used it twice, Maggie, you used it 3 times, and so did Mighty.
Thank you, Mary. This point in time, we're ready to close the meeting, and our presiding officer, Kate Orr, would you help close the meeting? I have the awards. I can hand out the awards, and then you can make any final announcements, Kate, if you'd like.
Perfect.
Table topics this morning. Drum roll, please. Len Thornton. Len. Our best evaluator this morning, Mark Campos. Well, Mark. Thank you, Mark. And our speaker of the day, Bridget Newton. Bridget. Well, hang on to your limit, Bridget. Congratulations. Kate, if you would like to call for any final announcements and close the meeting, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the day. Can we have a toast for Marty? Longtime Toastmaster and leader. Thank you. It's my only suggestion. I have David Jones in my ear saying, not really, but in my ear saying, remember a toast, remember a toast, remember include everybody, and always toast. We are Toastmasters.
Thank you, Kate.
We have David, who I just heard laughing, always encouraging us to give applause and always encouraging us to guard the lectern and hand it off with a fist bump or a handshake. That is another part of why I love this club so much. We learn from one another. Thank you, Mike Licata, Mr. Treasurer, for opening the meeting. I slid in a little bit late, and I admit in my speech, I ended rather abruptly. It made sense, but it was abrupt. And when I was a member of that London club, they were advanced. What that means for guests and newer members is all of their members already had to be Toastmasters of a certain level, and then they could join the advanced club. And at the end of their red light, at the end of the buffer, you had to stop. You were muted. There was a hook. It was on in the Zoom times, so everybody was zooming in from around the world, and it was the end when it was the end. I do have to work on that, and I look forward to continuing to improve. I look forward to seeing you improve. I have an announcement from Eric. Again, reminder, in April, we have our elections. And if anybody here is interested in being an officer, you can be brand new. That's how you learn how to be a leader, and we will guide you. I am learning tremendously from each and every one of our officer team now. Darcy and Maggie are newer members who became officers, such an asset to AM Lockport. I have used Toastmasters in the most recent years to help me recover from my medical issues and use my voice, find my voice again. And I feel like it's a call to action. So I am your Toastmaster next week, and it is already finally our spring open house. It's the first week of March, finally. So 1 week from today is our spring open house, and the theme is this: grow your voice. Please invite friends, bring friends in person or on Zoom. The spring open house is a wonderful time for us to continue growing our voices. Someone you know in your life that really could use that nudge or really could use that professional or personal development, now's the time. I don't think I have any more announcements, except that 3 weeks from now already is 2 weeks from now, March 14th, is our Division A contest where Maggie and Dave Licata and Larry are advancing to Buff State on that Saturday morning. If you would like to be a roll holder of any kind, let me know, or come in the audience. And that is in person only, Buff State, Saturday morning, March 14th. Again, save the date, May 1st and 2nd, for our conference, the last conference this far to the west, since we're merging with Connecticut and New Hampshire. And let me know if you have questions about that. I am on the conference committee. Back to you, Marty, in the house.
Thank you, Kate. I do have one announcement from the VPM membership standpoint, is that Zach Finney is going to be joining, and I told him that he can make his check payable from the month of April. And Chris.
April 1st, perfect. April 1st.
Same holds true with Chris for April. And you're still welcome to come to the meetings and participate, but you'll be a full member in April. Mike, we have a 50-50. Want me to pick a winner here? Pick a winner. Last three numbers are 169. 169. Steve Smith. Does anyone have anything further? If not, meeting adjourned. Thank you.